So are you planning a 2-week trip to Bali and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed? I don't blame you because Bali is freaking amazing and magical and there's so much to see and do here, whether we're talking about those stunning coastlines and cliffs and beautiful white sand beaches, those green, lush, magical rice fields, terraces, and jungly sort of areas, fun, amazing wildlife like monkeys and dolphins, delicious local Indonesian food that is slept on, in my opinion, and so much more. Trust me, I'm feeling overwhelmed trying to plan it all for you, but I think I did a really good job of it, planning not only an amazing 2-week itinerary, but a 2-week adventure that you will never forget for the rest of your life. So let's jump right into day 0, aka arrival day. So day 0, we will be arriving at the Itinerary International Airport on Bali, and depending on where you're coming from, this could have been a brutal travel day or even a series of brutal travel days. So let's keep things as simple as possible, assuming the worst. Let's just go from the airport to your hotel, and you can do this via like a hotel pickup. You can organize this usually with your hotel or your Airbnb through like booking.com or wherever you booked them, or get their WhatsApp number and message them or email them. They will probably be able to figure something out for you. Or you can just do like a taxi service from the airport to your hotel, which will actually be in Uluwatu, a beautiful beach town located just 30 minutes south from the international airport. Get to your hotel, check in, maybe try and get like a scooter situated if you can ride a scooter. I really recommend learning how to ride a scooter if you don't know how already. Check in your hotel, chill out. If you have a little bit more energy and enthusiasm, go to a beach club because there are many beautiful ones in Uluwatu. Some of ones that I recommend are like single fin or Sundays. I'll talk more about those later. But yeah, we're just gonna chill out, get to your hotel. Mission accomplished for day 0, because day 1 and from here on out will be a lot more fun and adventure. So day 1, we are going to the beach because Uluwatu is famous for its beautiful beaches and coastline. And the beach that I recommend you go to is Blue Point Beach. It is located in Uluwatu, of course, and it has some beautiful cliffs, beautiful blue water, lots of great surfing there, and you can hang out at the beach or go to Single Fin Beach Club, which I just mentioned before. It's located on the cliffs and has great views of the beach and the ocean. But for the true experience here in Uluwatu, you need to just go a little bit around the corner from Blue Point to Saluban Beach. This is like a hidden beach where you have to go through this kind of small little cave system. Be careful with the waves, and you will have this like what feels like a private, gorgeous beach that's like kind of tucked in between 2 massive cliffs and has a beautiful white powdery sand and blue water. This is probably my favorite beach in all of Bali, so let's just experience it on our first day. And then later on, we're gonna go to probably my other favorite place in Uluwatu, the Uluwatu Temple. This is like one of the most famous places in the entire area. It's this beautiful Hindu temple because Bali is actually a Hindu island. It's located on the cliffs of Uluwatu, and you get some amazing views of the coast here. And you can also interact with some very naughty monkeys because there are many monkeys on Bali. These ones are particularly naughty. So be careful of them, but it's really cool and cute to see them. And stick around for the Kecak fire dance, which is one of the coolest cultural experiences you can have in Bali, where you can see this traditional sort of like Balinese dance and performance with some chanting and costumes and all that sort of jazz. Really cool. End the night here, and that's it for day 1 on Bali in Uluwatu. And beginning day 2, we are actually going to go to another amazing beach, which is going to be Green Bowl Beach. This is more of like a hidden beach where you have to walk down many stairs. I actually have not visited it, but it was on my list and it looks extremely beautiful. Just be careful of the monkeys and all the stairs you have to go down, but the beach itself is like a little bit more remote and secluded and beautiful. Now, I also recommend on day 2, you go to Sunday's Beach Club. It actually costs about 800,000 rupiah to enter, which is a little bit expensive, but 500,000 of that actually goes towards food. And this is an amazing beach club. You actually enter on this little funicular kind of thing, which is really cool. And you can rent lots of stuff to play around with, like whether we're talking snorkels, some kind of like sports equipment. You can rent like this see-through kayak, which is really cool to take out on the ocean. And they even do sort of like beach bonfires. So a really good place to hang out and chill and just really soak in the beautiful beaches and scenery that you can experience in Uluwatu. So day 3, we are sadly leaving Uluwatu. You can organize your transfer either with the hotel you're currently staying at or the next one you'll be staying at, which is going to be in Canggu. Now Canggu is a neighborhood that is like a digital nomad influencer, remote worker, a little haven or hub. And I have some mixed feelings about it. Actually, there's some things about it I really don't like, which I talked about it in a separate video, so check that out if you want to hear me speak about it more. But I still recommend you at least check it out for a couple days. I really recommend that you immerse yourself in the digital nomad kind of like lifestyle and do some like spa related activities maybe at like a spa such as Tranquility, which I recommend. So we'll let you know how it goes and I'll talk to you after getting a nice relaxing, hopefully $11 massage. How are you feeling, V?
I can move again.
Alright, our first couple's massage is over, and no one's seen that much of my career accents, Vanessa. No.
Oh my god.
And that was a great massage. You could do like a surfing lesson for a lot cheaper of a cost than you would do it in like Hawaii at a place I recommend called Surf with Aldo. It's right on Batu Belong Beach. Really good place. You could even do some yoga for a better price at a place called Samadhi, which is a nice place as well. Very cool aesthetic. They also have like a Sunday morning market, so check that out if you can. And then after all of this, have some dinner at a restaurant called Burgreens, which has a beautiful aesthetic, really encapsulates that like Canggu kind of like boho chic kind of vibe, and it has Indonesian food, which is really delicious as well. I've eaten it here many times, tried many things on the menu. They also have some Western sort of food options for a great price. And it's all vegan, which if you're me, that's really important. If you're not into vegan food, then I guess you could look for something else at another sort of like warung or place like that. And then yeah, after a day of experiencing the digital nomad lifestyle, maybe do a little bit of work or something like that just to make yourself feel like you're being productive. I don't know. But get some cookies at Dang Cookies in Canggu. Seems like a really random recommendation, but the cookies here are chef's kiss, delicious, moist, chocolatey, rich, delicious, a nice delicacy. And yeah, that's going to be the end of day 3. Now day 4, there is only one correct way to start your day here in Canggu, and that's fasting, so you can get some mental clarity to be a productive worker. Now, it's going to be going to an amazing cafe, and my favorite cafe in all of Canggu is I Am Vegan Babe. I chose this one for obvious reasons. I'm vegan, but the aesthetic, the vibe, the music, the views of the rice fields here are just top notch, and the food is really delicious and fresh as well. I really enjoy their pancakes and also their eggs benedict, or vegan eggs benedict in my case, and it's really delicious. Great way to start the day because we are going to be heading to Tanalat, which is another seaside temple. This one's a little bit different than the Uluwatu temple because the cliffs are less dramatic, but the actual Tanalat temple itself is located on like a bit of an island which you can access during low tide. You can walk out to the temple, but during high tide, the water is so high that it looks like it's like floating out in the ocean, which is a really cool visual. And as always, there's lots of beautiful stuff, cultural, architecturally, naturally to see like a Balinese temple. So spend some time here, check it out, then go back to Canggu. And I really recommend getting dinner at Ithaca Warung. It has vegan and non-vegan options, and it has delicious Balinese, Indonesian cuisine, including some dishes just introduced so you're familiar with them, such as like mie goreng, fried noodles, nasi goreng, fried rice. You have Balinese curry. You have nasi campur, which is like a mixed plate. You have satay, which are sort of like skewers with a delicious peanut sauce to dip them in. Really delicious, great vibes and views of Batu Belong Beach, which we will go to for sunset. Now this beach is not nearly as beautiful as the ones we visited in Uluwatu. That's why we're only really going here for sunset, because the sunset's on the west, of course. This is on the west side of the island, so you'll get a really gorgeous sunset here at Batu Belong Beach, even if the sand quality isn't that great and it's a little less like paradise than Uluwatu was. And that is going to be the end of day 4, our final day in Canggu. Day 5, we are leaving Bali. Well, technically, because this is an island just off the coast of Bali, so I kind of include it as being part of Bali, even though it's different, called Nusa Penida. This has some of the most famous and beautiful photo spots anywhere associated with Bali, and you can visit this place as like a day trip, doing like a little Airbnb sort of excursion kind of thing, but I really recommend you spend one night here to really take advantage of the beautiful scenery, and it's bigger than you think. So for day 1 at Nusa Penida, we're gonna organize our transportation and then arrive and really get started at Kelingking Beach, aka T-Rex Beach, which you will notice right away from this video, I'm sure. It's one of the most incredible beaches and dramatic views in all of Bali. You can actually hike down to the bottom of the beach if you'd like. everybody. We are here at Kelingking Beach here in Nusa Penida, which is the #1 top site to see. This is why you came here. This is why you maybe booked your trip to Bali, just to see this site here. You want to come nice and early in the morning, and if you're brave enough, you can even walk down these really steep stairs, which are a little bit treacherous, but you can definitely do it. It'll take a lot of energy, take a lot of time, so if you're gonna go down there, make sure you can hang out there for a long period of time, otherwise it might not be worth killing yourself over, not killing yourself, but at least exhausting yourself to the point where you might just want to sleep the rest of the day. There's so much to see here on this beautiful island. So let's go to Broken Beach in Angel's Billabong. They're two locations that are kind of like a 2-in-1 because they're right next to each other. Broken Beach has this amazing like little natural rock arch, and Angel's Billabong is like a natural infinity pool that you can actually like swim in and chill in if the tide is chill, but that really doesn't happen very often, so you can at least enjoy it. Or maybe get that magical Instagram picture if you're lucky. And then if possible, I recommend going to Manta Point this day as well to either swim with manta rays or try and observe them from the land, because this is one of the famous things about Nusa Penida is that there are manta rays off the coast. You know, those beautiful like 20-foot wide, it's crazy even saying it, that make it seem like they're animals from another planet. I didn't have the chance to do this. I only did this as a day trip, and I regret that I didn't have the chance. So please do it for me, everybody, and let me know how it is in the comments below. And then yeah, check into your Airbnb. That's the end of day 5, and we'll begin day 6 on Nusa Penida as well, just wrapping up and seeing everything else we possibly can here. Some must-sees I would recommend are going to be Diamond Beach. This is another must-see area on Nusa Penida. It has that beautiful iconic like cliffs and like rocks sticking out from the ocean and the white sand. I think the beaches and like coastline on Nusa Penida is more gorgeous than Bali in general, so make sure you check this one out. And then also the last iconic area here is the Rumah Pohon treehouse, which has that like iconic Thousand Island view, I think they call it, and that little treehouse, which is perfect for influencers and people that are obsessed with photos, and just seems like a really cool, unique thing to see and do in Nusa Penida. And then yeah, that's it for Nusa Penida. You can only see and do so much in 2 days. It definitely gives you more time and flexibility than just the day trip. And then take the ferry back to Bali to the east side, because we will actually be staying in East Bali tonight, specifically the area around Sidemen, and then we'll begin fresh and early the next day. Alright, so now day 7 in Sidemen. This is going to be more chill, more like rice fields, more green open landscapes, not as like dry or not as nearly as popular and busy as Canggu, and even Uluwatu might be at this point, because East Bali is just a total escape from all of this and to experience the true beauty of Bali, so they say. But to start our day off, day 7, we were going to go to the Agawista Salak, I believe it's called. Now, this is a really unique and unusual thing to suggest, but this is one of my true gems on the entire island of Bali, and I'm sharing it with you. So, salak is snake fruit. It's a totally bizarre looking fruit that kind of tastes like a mixture between a pineapple and an apple, and there is like an agricultural farm where you can go and pick it yourself, and this really nice lady will show you around. And you can actually drink salak coffee and salak tea, which is a great way to start the day, and a really unique like agricultural experience here on Bali. But we're gonna go from this like salak farm and really try and experience views of Mount Agung, because this is one of the most amazing things about East Bali is you have the tallest mountain / volcano, Mount Agung, and it is so beautiful and breathtaking. There's lots of different ways you can get views of it. I recommend you visit Lahangan Suite, which is a little bit far away in the northeast. If you don't want to go that far, you can go to this place called like Bukit Sinta, which is supposed to be a good viewpoint, but I really just recommend trying to take in views of like the rice fields as you explore around the area and try and get those views of Mount Agung at those two places. You also need to visit the Air Terjun Jaga Sutra, which is like a really beautiful waterfall with almost nobody there when I went there. I went there like at dusk, and it was so beautiful, and me and my wife were the only people there, which is so incredible. And then honestly, feel free to explore as you will. If you find somewhere that looks cool on the map, just go, or just cruise around, or just chill at like your Airbnb if you see somewhere beautiful out in the rice fields or out in the jungle. Because this is just gonna be a nice little break, some peace and quiet. And I think one of my favorite things about Bali is just exploring aimlessly. See what you come across, even if it's not somewhere on the map that's a really popular tourist destination. For example, I'm gonna get a little sidetracked here, but there's an area in the east of Bali that you can visit called the Temple of Heaven, and it looks so beautiful, the photos are amazing, but you show up and there's like a 2-hour queue where someone's calling your number over a megaphone.
Planet 19.
And they do this really gimmicky trick where they use a mirror to create that reflection of the water. So it looks beautiful for a picture, but for an actual experience, it is so much of a waste of time, it's not even funny. So really just skip this one and see what true, authentic experiences you can come across. And then day 8, we are going to be leaving East Bali. You can do this however you like. You can like leave early in the morning or take a little bit of a slow morning, enjoying the rice fields and peace and quiet of East Bali. But we're going to be heading to Ubud, the cultural center, and a little bit more busy, but less busy than Canggu, of an area here in Bali. And if you can, stop at this area called Gambling Waterfall on the way. It's a really beautiful waterfall. It has an iconic picture where you have another like one of nature's natural, it sounds redundant, but nature's natural infinity pools with some great views of the valley and the lush green area in Bali as well. And then yeah, we're gonna make our way to Ubud, have a slow day because it's kind of like a transportation between hotel days, but I really recommend you check out the Kajang rice fields. They might not be as amazingly beautiful as some of the ones in Sidemen, but it's a really incredible little walking trail called like the Sweet Orange Trail, I believe it's called. I'm putting it on the map for you right here. And it has an amazing warung called Sweet Orange Warung, which is a great place to get some lunch or like breakfast. They have some fantastic coffees and just a really unique atmosphere. And the food here, the curries, the satay is absolutely outstanding as well. And it feels like you have your own little private area in Ubud away from the main streets. So this is what you must do your first day in Ubud. And for dinner, I recommend maybe checking out this restaurant Dapur Usada, which specializes in like Ayurvedic, which is like healthful cooking. It comes from India, but they use Balinese ingredients and recipes incorporated with Indian cuisine. And Ubud is a place that is really famous and popular for its like healthful lifestyle and cuisine. So this is a great way to jump into that, and it's really tasty and delicious as well. All right, now day 9, we are going to start off by going to probably my favorite rice field in all of Bali. Some people say it's overrated, but I think it's truly amazing. It's the Tegalalang rice field. This is the iconic Bali rice terrace, and it'll be busy, so get there early in the morning, but you can actually dive deeper into the rice field, going down the terraces and find some areas in the back, which you'll have almost completely to yourself, and you can see actual rice farmers working, and you can definitely get lost exploring this place, so be careful. But it is so beautiful, it's definitely not overrated. And then once you're done, head to this cafe called TIS or Tiz Cafe. It is like built in this beautiful like eco bamboo kind of like boho style, and it overlooks the rice fields. It's a great place to get a drink to cool down to. It's a little bit expensive, but that's to be expected in a location like this. But the vibes, the views, the food, the experience, the drinks are totally worth it, and it's a great way to end your time in Tegalalang. Now, I recommend you can do a few different things in Ubud, one of which would be the Pura Tirta Empul water temple, which is another famous temple in Bali if you're into that like cultural experience where you can do this bathing ritual with lots of tourists, but also lots of locals as well. Really cool and unique. Or you could even go to another waterfall, because there are many waterfalls near Ubud, but my favorite, the one that takes the cake, is Tibumana. It is so beautiful and gorgeous, and you hike down this little area to reach this like picture perfect, super straight, like hanging waterfall off of the side of like a cliff. And there's a little pool for you to swim in as well. So it's really cool and beautiful. Try and go earlier in the day if possible, but that'll be a little difficult with the rice fields, I know. And then yeah, let's get some dinner because you'll probably be starving at this point. I really recommend going to Sage Restaurant. This has a mixture of different cuisines, so if you want Balinese and Indonesian, you can get that. If you want Asian, if you want Western, if you want something in between, it has it all. It's all vegan again, but the desserts here are absolutely amazing, and it has that wonderful Ubud kind of like authentic Balinese, holistic, kind of like peaceful style and vibe, which I absolutely love, and the food is amazing. Who's that?
This is my new pet.
And then you can end your day actually at the Champuhan Ridge Walk, which is a great place to walk around and get some views of the jungle, because the scenery here is very different than Uluwatu. It's very different than Canggu, than Nusa Penida, than even East Bali. It's more jungly and more mountainous, as we are going to be going further into the mountains coming very soon. Day 10, we are making our way to probably some of the best adventures of our whole trip in Bali. we're going to make our way to North Bali. We're going to stop at an area which has a really beautiful temple, another floating temple called Uluwatu Baratan, and it's on Baratan Lake, which is an area which is so different than all the landscapes so far in Bali, which is one of my favorite things about Bali, is like the diverse landscape and scenery and nature and all of that. And the climate here is a lot cooler. It's going to be a lot more misty, and it really creates a different atmosphere. And this temple is a great place to stop and experience that, because we're going to make our way even further north. And I'm going to give you two different options that you can do depending on how you're feeling so far in this action-packed trip. Option one is head a little bit northwest to the Banjar Hot Springs. Now this is the only hot springs I visited in Bali, and it was such a great experience. It's beautiful, it's relaxing, and it's a great way to like soak your body in some thermal like spring water. Or if you want to adventure and keep it going, which both of these are amazing choices, honestly, go to Aling Aling Waterfall. This is an amazingly beautiful waterfall, but more than that, it has like a series of adventurous activities you can do here, including like a natural waterfall like slide. You can do 2 cliff jumps, or 3 cliff jumps actually, being like 5 meters, 10 meters, and 15 meters. And then it also has the Blue Lagoon, which you can check out and like swim and like rope swing into. So I'd probably choose Aling Aling because it just sounds like so much more fun and bang for your buck. And then yeah, we're going to continue on north to Lovina Beach. We're not going to do a whole lot here, just check in. There's a really cool restaurant which I recommend called like the Global Peace Cafe, I believe. Global Peace Foundation Cafe. I put the title of it here. It actually donates a lot of its money to like charity and helping out the local community and hires disabled people. So really good purpose and really delicious food as well. And that is going to be the end of day 10. In day 11, we are going to do what we came to Lovina Beach for, which is going to be a wildlife tour, specifically dolphin observing tour, where we're going to go on a boat and go out into the ocean and see so many dolphins, pods of dolphins. But there's one massive disclaimer. I really don't recommend booking these tours with just anybody, because a lot of the people that do these dolphin wildlife tours, they will harass the dolphins, which might be a little sleepy or wanting to chill, and they'll literally like chase them and probably give them lots of anxiety, because dolphins are very smart creatures. So I recommend booking with a company called Popeye. I can provide that information if you want some more information, just like write it in the comments. And yeah, they do more of the ethical sort of style where they don't chase the dolphins. They're just kind of out in the water. They might follow them a little slowly, but then leave them alone. And oftentimes the dolphins just come up to you and see what you're doing because they are interested in curious creatures. And it really made me feel better knowing that I wasn't making the dolphins have a terrible time or giving them stress and anxiety, maybe wanting to leave somewhere that they find a comfortable home just for my own entertainment. So that's a little small disclaimer there. But do the wildlife tour and then leave Lovina and then go back a little bit south to visit Sekampul Waterfall, which is the waterfall of all waterfalls here on Bali, Indonesia. It's the tallest waterfall on the entire island, and it is so beautiful. It's famous. It has some amazing views, and it is just, it will make you feel something profound if you hop in the water and you're looking up at it and you can feel the power and see the height of it. It's just such an amazing experience that you need to experience here in Bali. And then yeah, we're actually gonna make our way back from where we came from the previous day to the Baratan Lake area. And we're gonna check into the Pullum Garden. I stayed here. It's so peaceful. It's so nice. It's kind of these little glamping lodges, but a little bit more nice. And we're just gonna stay here on the lake, get some food, relax, and just chill out after what was an amazing couple of adventurous days. Or another option is you can keep on going and head back to Ubud, spend the night here because it's gonna make it easier for the beginning of our next day, which will take us to Gili Trawangan. So day 12, we will actually be leaving Bali one more time to go to Gili T, aka Gili Trawangan, which is one of 3 Gili islands, which is actually closer to the island of Lombok, but these are a completely different feel. And although again, it's not technically Bali, it is so worth spending your time here. Cool thing about Gili Trawangan is that there are no cars or scooters on this island. So if you are unable to scooter, this might be such a great feeling to just be able to walk around and cruise around the island. So anyway, organize for your ferries to Gili Trawangan. I booked through Gili Fast Boat, which was a really good service. I would recommend you do it as well. The ride here is definitely a little bit crazy, so be warned about that. This is crazy.
Very scary. Oh my god.
And then yeah, once you get to the island, check into your hotel and rent some bikes for a couple days because this is going to be the best way to explore and get around on the island. And then yeah, after a busy morning or a couple of days, take it a little bit slow, just slowly cruise around the island, go to some beach clubs on like the northeast or east part of the island. I really recommend. You can do some really good snorkeling here, get a couple beers and relax, just take in the slow island lifestyle here on Gili T. And if you're up for it, go to the west side of the island. It's like a 20-minute bike ride maybe. View an incredible sunset where you not only see like the ocean, but you can see Bali right over in the distance, and you can see Mount Agung, that behemoth volcano that you probably saw back in East Bali. If you didn't, I really hope you could, because it is so beautiful, and you get another perspective here on Gili T for sunset, and that is the end of this day. And then for day 13, start the day a little bit slower. Don't rush around. We're gonna take things slow and easy today still by getting some breakfast and some coffee in the town. There are many different cafes. I actually made a whole video on my time in Gili T, and you can check it out if you're interested in that. And then yeah, slowly explore the island some more, maybe go swimming in the morning, but you must go to Bangkas Surf School because this is my favorite place I've ever been surfing in my entire life. It's so much better than Canggu. The waves are more chill, the ground is more shallow, but it's not so shallow you're gonna get like beat up a ton. And it just, in Canggu I found to be too congested and a little bit difficult sometimes, but this Bangkas Surf School and Gili Trawangan, the waves were slow but still powerful enough to push you, and it's a great way to learn for a great price as well. Definitely need to do this. Or if you already know how to surf, just rent a surfboard and just hang out and enjoy the beautiful views of Lombok in the distance, maybe Bali, and of Gili T. And to end your day, get one more sunset on the west side of Gili T. Enjoy like the local music, maybe get some drinks and food, and maybe go partying back in the main town if you're up for it and you want to end your 14-day trip in Bali with a bang, because after this, day 13, we're at day 14. We are going to go back to the mainland of Bali. I guess it's not a mainland, it's still an island, but we're gonna go back to Bali, find somewhere to stay. Probably best to stay in like Ubud or Canggu or somewhere like that, and then just chill out and then get ready to leave, because there is our 14 days in Bali. Let's review everything we did. We visited like 6 or 7 different areas. We saw volcanoes, beaches, we went to beach clubs, we saw rice paddies, jungles, cliff jumping, waterfalls, dolphins, monkeys. We've even maybe went to some hot springs, plenty of Balinese temples. It's the complete package, everybody, and it is going to be an amazing 2-week adventure that you can experience here in Bali. But there are a couple disclaimers and things I do want to mention before we end the video. So number one, this is a very fast-paced travel itinerary because I really want to try and find a way for you to experience as much as you can of Bali in those 2 weeks. But sometimes less might feel like it's more if you're jumping around too much and you're too exhausted to really enjoy what you're doing. So if that's the case, I recommend that you maybe trim off a little bit of fat here and there. Maybe like skip Canggu if you're not interested in like the digital nomad lifestyle. If you don't want as much of like a beach vacation, you can maybe change this into more of like a cultural or like jungly rice field kind of vacation. So maybe just stick to like Ubud, East Bali, and North Bali in those areas. Or if you want it to be a beach vacation, stick to Uluwatu, go to Nusa Penida and Gili Trawangan, and maybe just check out Ubud for a little bit of that vibe without going too far off the beaten path. And then yeah, you can also visit like Nusa Penida is just a day trip and not spend time staying over there as well. It's totally doable. But the ultimate recommendation is, of course, just spend more time in Bali. I was there for 2 months and did all of this, a little bit more here and there, but that's pretty much all I did in 2 months. So there's so much to see and do here, including the neighboring islands and just so many different vibes and aesthetics. And there's lots of things I didn't even include and get to do myself, such as going to Amid, which is a beautiful area in the east, or going to Munduk, which is like a little bit west of like the Lake Baratan area. And there's so much more to see and experience here in Bali. It is an amazing place, everybody, and I hope you have an amazing 2 weeks or like a month. Just double this itinerary and stay in some of these hubs like Ubud or Uluwatu or Canggu or some of the more remote areas to really take in the peace and tranquility. Just increase your time there and you can have an amazing 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 month, whatever may have you. So what do you think, everybody? Does this sound like a good itinerary? Are you excited to visit Bali yourself? When are you going? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.